right, so we just arrived at the 2024 Wintergrass Festival. It's an awesome bluegrass festival. It's been going on in our backyard for years. Just always been kind of mesmerized by just the whole community here. It's very focused on clinics, lessons, performances. I mean, you open an elevator or any door and there's like another jam circle and band. It's pretty overstimulating, but very, very cool. So along with that, a lot of heavy guitars get traded between these small circles and in hotel rooms, and I found myself in, random rooms in this hotel during this festival with a Blacklight and an Old Martin. And we want to come back, spend the weekend. Some of our really good friends are heavily involved in this festival, and we're going to try to find some guitars, but we're just going to shine light and kind of pay homage to this awesome festival. It's kind of a Pacific Northwest legacy. So let's go check it out.
The festival started in Tacoma. It was down there for years. And about 8 or 9 years ago, we moved to Bellevue, which has just been awesome. There's, in the acoustic bluegrass world, we hire like the best people that there are. I mean, Billy Strings has played here, Molly Tuttle has played here, Tony Rice has played here. I just saw Daryl Anger and Mr. Sun. So you can have very traditional bluegrass music, or you can have like state-of-the-art acoustic music, which is really now a blend of old school bluegrass and jazz and classical music and blues, and it's all the components, and you might hear all that in one song. It's fantastic.
I love it, man.
Patrice O'Neil is the executive director, and she runs this whole thing. It's just unbelievable what she does. And Stephen Rufo has had that job before, and for 25 years we've been working together on this thing. And I show up, I play guitar and drink wine, and they do all the work. And all these volunteers we have, it's incredible how many remarkable volunteers we have. It's a crew of, less than 10 people who work for Wintergrass. And then everybody else, all the hundreds of other people are volunteers. So it's a cool community.
And people are coming from all over the world here.
It's
so
I think
cool.
This year we have people from about 30 countries and at least that many states.
Wow.
It's all over.
I keep on hearing this name, Patrice O'Neil. The gal behind the scenes is pulling all the strings. And I was chatting with someone else when I saw your name tag, and I said, "Are you the Patrice?" And she is. How long have you been involved in this, first off? General question.
Since day one.
And is that 20-some years?
Oh, longer than that. So much longer. The first Wintergrass was 1994.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was in Tacoma, and then the first year it was in Bellevue was 2010. We love being here. I think it always was intended to be a pretty eclectic thing. It's never been a straight bluegrass festival. People who have not been, people just think, that's not my thing,
Yeah.
But it's never been that. It's always, there will always be bluegrass at the heart of it. Always, always, always. But from day one, we've always had different stuff. So it's just like, you need to have big ears. You need to have big old ears. And the best thing about Wintergrass people is that they trust us.
Yeah.
We do whatever we want, and we hire whatever we want. Most people have no idea who the people are on the lineup. Never heard of that guy. I know. Doesn't matter, right? Because it's great music.
Wow.
It's
so there's
great.
enough confidence in what you guys have put together, the bills over the years. It's just like,
these people, I love these people.
I came to it in 95 and I fell in love with it.
Yep.
And then I came back in 96 and I volunteered. And that was the end of that. So then I volunteered, then I joined the board of directors, and then I was the president of the board of directors. The thing that happened early on when we started to form our board, I used to teach values and mission statements and stuff like that. So we did a few exercises. And we created our mission statement and we created values. And our values are things like abundance, generosity, community, things like that.
Yeah.
And so everything we do has to fall in line with these things. So our whole thing is, do right, be good, make people happy. Mm-hmm. Things go wrong, we fix them. which is kind of a cool philosophy. When we moved here in 2010, we came to, somebody recommended this place, and we met these Hyatt people. Not many people will let you do this kind of stuff in their ballrooms in Bellevue.
Totally.
And they just embraced us. They gave us so much. They became kind of like partners to support everything we could do. Rates are low. We have the run of the place. They're the most generous people. And whenever you have an event in a hotel, the people that are the staff, the hotels, don't go to the event. I'm sitting with the main salesperson and the president and the chairman of the board in our shows. He's up there at 2:30 in the morning sitting in the middle of a jam because it was a Cajun jam or something. He's got 8 of his friends. And
I don't know how these guys are walking. Everybody's been up since 4, listening, G-chord until 4. You guys are
it's pretty cool. We all sleep for a week when we get home.
Hibernate like a bear.
And then we start again, Cool, man. Yeah, we've got just a great team. And
you do.
Support.
You do, man.
And Bellevue was a home run for us. Oh my gosh.
All right, so we're in the kind of guitar exhibit area, which changes all the time, from vintage to new builders. The first guy I ran into was Patrice O'Neil, who kind of managed all the greater Seattle guitar shows since I was a kid. He's still a part of Wintergrass, which is really cool. I'm sure it's an extension of what he's so used to. He does a great job of it. He always has some goodies, so we're gonna peek around. Is that your bass right there?
Silly guy.
All right, so Patrice O'Neil, I was just, talking about you like
the guy is tardy.
Yeah. Is this your bass over here?
No, that's my friend's bass, Martin. There's only 400 of those ever made.
I want it. It's
You
so
want it?
cool.
He's selling it.
D40. This is my hotshot Luthier.
Okay, good. Okay, good to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
So got a bubble bump.
Yeah.
A little crack in here is easy to do. You take that sawdust and glue and mix and fix that. I can't sell it for that because it's got the belly bump, and even fixing the brace, this and that, isn't going to fix the bump.
Sure, yeah.
So you can get it retopped by Martin and take all the time and money and stuff. But the abalone, it's going to cost a fortune for today's environment to do the top again, I think. But you can do it yourself.
So what can you sell for?
So usually when the bridge is, the belly is popping up like that, if you can pull the bridge, it's usually the X brace right along here that's pulled slightly.
Yeah.
If you pull the bridge off, you can mark out where the X brace traces under the feet of the bridge. And you can drill, I have like a 15 thousandths drill bit, super, super thin. And I'll drill a few holes along where the X brace is and use a syringe, like a diabetes syringe with high glue. Shoot it under there and clamp those X braces back down. You can bring that belly down.
Bring it down?
Bring
Because
it down
it's supposed to
quite a
have
bit.
one loose bridge, but then I thought if you did one side, it wouldn't bring the other side down. So you can get them both down.
You'd have to do them both. You'd just pull the bridge and re-glue
See,
it.
you got the guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This cool D41 that needs a little bit of work. That's why we bring Tyler. He scoped it. He's going to be able to bring it up to perfection very soon. And you gave us a cool deal. We'll be able to give somebody else a cool deal.
And it's a Martin.
Yeah, it's a Martin, man.
At Bluegrass, you got to have Martins. Sorry, it's my law.
Amen. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Bruce.
Okay, you got it.
All right, so I just ran into Joe Susskind, who I met in the shop a few weeks back. He's from Portland, and these are all new people to me, so I'm kind of like looking for familiar faces. We saw a couple, and I just was like, I know that guy.
Good.
So what's this mean to you, man? Are you playing? Are you observing?
Well, we played last year, so now we're here. We're a local Northwest band.
Awesome.
This is where we've got our roots, man. And so even though we're not booked, we were booked the last 2 years, we've come to teach. And so we do 2 workshops. We did one was a vocal harmony workshop.
I saw that in the schedule. That's really cool.
Which is terrifying, as you might think
Yeah.
a harmony workshop
Yeah.
might be with 90 strangers. It was awesome. And everybody who was here to attend is like in the music. And the other thing that's especially cool for the guitar people out there is that at Wintergrass there are more pre-war Martins and incredible vintage instruments that people bring to play and to share. I have a 1938 D18 in this thing here, and I've played a 35, a 36, a 37, a 39, a 44. There's 2 1935 D28s here.
Yep.
So if you are a person like me who, you're maybe separated from these like wonderful instruments, here's a place that you can come and touch them. You get to hear the tone, you get to hear the real thing, you get to talk to people and really, be a part of the history of the instruments.
This is like the picker circle.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where that guitar is, and that 35 know who has that.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And
They're legendary, and the generosity is real.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you,
Gotcha,
man.
You guys, good shop too,
Thank
man.
you,
guys,
man.
When I went into your shop, just as a testament, man, I've been in a lot of shops all over the country, and you guys were like, hey, warm, welcoming, open-minded, let you touch the instruments, but I felt safe.
Well, your guitar store etiquette was top tier, man. No, thank you.
I want to play the good
Appreciate
stuff. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's the band name and where can we find it?
Yes, sorry.
Never Come Down, man. You can find us anywhere online. We're touring all over the country and hopefully internationally this year. So
The whole building, we have 600 rooms in this. 630 rooms out of this are all taken up by the Wintergrass room block. And there's 2 other hotels nearby that house the Wintergrass fans and ticket buyers as well. So it's a pretty big event. I started coming about 20 years ago. One weekend, I'm walking down the hall and a guy walks in with a 1933 12-fret D28. Now, how many times do you get to see that? And I missed one of the workshops because we sat there and talked about it and got to play it. And Jason and I, we became friends. And I said, we gotta do something with these guys and do a workshop with all of these cool old instruments that are just walking around. The festival attracts them, and they're all in one place at one time. Let's do it. So we worked on Patrice and Rufo for a couple of years, and they finally let us do it. The first one we did in 2013, we got Grisman to come. David Grisman did his tone poems live on stage with Kenny Smith. We supplied a bunch of old guitars. We couldn't replicate what he did on the album with Tony Rice, but we came pretty close. And Grisman brought all his own mandolins, and so we started it that way. And then Jason and I worked pretty hard and cajoled them over the years to keep doing it. Jason and I reach out to the whole community and get as many cool guitars lined up as we can, and then they all come together for that workshop. And then the booking agents pick somebody that's at the stage, at the festival to be on stage and do it, either somewhere 2, 3, or 4 people each year. So it's been fun. Wintergrass is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and you never sell enough tickets to support it. So we rely on donations, and the city and the county and a lot of organizations around really help keep the festival going, so the artists can make a living, but it can stay viable and going. And like any organization, it was pretty tough during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But we made it through, did some limited operations, and this year as you probably saw, the crowds are back. One of the big goals is education, to pass the music on, pay it forward. And that's part of what our Fretboard Journal Vintage Instrument Workshop is about, is educating people on where the music came from. It's just an educational piece.
So I've been here for hours. One of the biggest reasons I'm here is because one of the most important advocates in this whole acoustic guitar world, Jason Verlinde of the Fretboard Journal. I'm humbled by this whole deal. We were just chatting a bit about how weird it is that it actually works.
I mean, this is one of the coolest music experiences you could have. There are bluegrass festivals that take place in campsites and fairgrounds, and they're dusty, and maybe there's a food truck. But to be in a beautiful hotel in probably one of the most affluent area codes ever in North America, and it gets taken over for one weekend by thousands of bluegrass lovers from North America, and they all have cool instruments. And so whether or not you're into bluegrass, just to be able to walk around and see a vintage, herringbone Martin or, pre-war Gibson, like being played all night long by great musicians. Sometimes they're kids too. Like there's a ton of kids here who are just, monster players. It's pretty cool. I mean, you get to hear these amazing instruments that we geek out about and write about and seek all the time, but you get to hear them play. There's a whole world. I mean, we could do a whole video on just the different jams that go down here.
I know.
It's almost like surf spots. Like there's some that are like, you gotta be Laird Hamilton to fit in this jam. And then there's some where it's like, anyone can just join in. You can bring a harmonica, you can do whatever.
Where does it go from here? It's kind of perfect.
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of is. And Wintergrass is very unique, like I was saying. Like, it is not the typical bluegrass festival. There's a lot of young talent here. There's a lot of energy here. We're in this kind of urban environment, so you can go eat well and, you're never feeling dirty. So I don't know. I mean, I think the caliber of players they're getting is just through the roof. Obviously, in the greater bluegrass universe, we've got the Billy Strings and the Molly Tuttles of the world who are just like setting the world ablaze and bringing like fresh energy to the whole thing. So I mean, I love that. I mean, it's for a guy like me who puts out a magazine and podcasts and an event. I just get to go around and I'm running into contributors. I'm running into future stories on weird guitars. I'm running into artists that we've already interviewed. I mean, I'm a kid in a candy store. It's cool.
Jason, I know you're busy. He's got
well,
color wheel of bands on him.
for sure.
I love you and
Love
thank
you too, man. We'll see you here every year.
I'll bug you in 10 minutes.
Jesse, I did bread for you. Okay, thank you.